Video we'll be going over IRS notice CP53C. This is a notice that you might receive from the Internal Revenue Service if you filed your tax return, requested a direct deposit of your tax refund, and for some reason the IRS was not able to process it. So we'll go through what this notice means, but first let's take a look at the upper right hand corner. So you'll see the notice number, CP53C, the tax year, the notice date, which is, in a month, date, and year format, social security number, and then some contact information for the IRS. Probably the most important piece of information is the notice date, because that's the date where if you are requested to take action on a particular item, if there's a timeline like 21 days, that timeline starts from the notice date, not from the date that you receive the notice. So keep that in mind. In this particular case, you don't need to do anything, but more than likely you're going to receive follow-up correspondence from the IRS. Either you're going to receive your refund, or you're going to receive a notice with additional steps. So you'll want to kind of just keep that in mind for future reference. On the left-hand side, you'll see the Department of Treasury, the IRS letterhead address. And then this information right here is the taxpayer name and address field. So you'll want to make sure that your address is current. If you've recently relocated, usually people that move change addresses. Their address is updated the next time they file a tax return. And so what the IRS will do is they'll take the new address information from your most recent tax return. They'll update your tax record accordingly. But if you've received this correspondence, you can expect to receive follow-on correspondence, which means that you want to, if you're expecting a check, you definitely want to make sure that your address is updated in the IRS files more frequently than once a year when you file your tax return. So you can also update your tax record by either calling the IRS at their 800 number. You validate your information and you can update your address over the phone, or you can file the IRS's official change of address form. For most taxpayers, that's IRS Form 8822. For business owners, that would be IRS Form 8822-B. And we'll put links in the show notes to articles and videos we've created on both of those forms, as well as other forms that might be pertinent to this. So let's take a closer look at what this notice is trying to tell us. So the IRS tried to deposit your refund to your financial institution account, but for some reason the financial institution couldn't process it. The IRS is going to review your return, but it's going to take 8 to 10 weeks to complete their review and then verify your refund. And then it goes on to explain a variety of reasons why your financial institution might have rejected that refund. Perhaps it was someone else's account information, maybe it was the wrong account number, so on and so forth. So the IRS can only deposit your refund to a bank account or a prepaid card that's open in your name. If you're married, you can also direct it to your spouse's name, but you can't direct, you should not direct your refund to an account that belongs to a relative, a friend, or your tax return preparer. And I'll take a side note by saying this reference is probably the most interesting one, the tax return preparer, because a lot of people are under a couple of assumptions that we should probably correct. So first, it is illegal for your tax return preparer to request any amount of money get paid into their account from your tax refund. So if your return preparer is going to charge you $100 to do your tax return, it might make sense to you that you're getting a $1,000 refund. So let's send $100 of that to your tax return preparer, and then you get the other $900. Unfortunately, that's not something that is illegal for you to do. However, it is illegal for the tax return preparer to even consider it or accept that as an option. Specifically, the IRS precludes any tax return preparer from doing exactly that. That's also related to another thing that happens to a lot of people, where the tax return preparer charges their fee based on the percentage of or a portion of the tax refund that you should expect to receive. So that is a conflict of interest as well. And every tax return preparer knows or should know that you can charge a fee in a number of different ways. You can calculate your fee based on the number of forms that you're completing, the hours that you're working, but you can never calculate a fee based on a percentage or a fraction of the tax return refund that you're expecting for your client. So those are two red flags. If that's something that your tax return preparer is doing or has considered, then you need to find another tax return preparer. All right, so the next steps here, the IRS basically walks through their process. They're going to take a look at related returns to make sure that your tax return is valid. And then once they complete their research, they'll either send you a check in the mail or they will send you additional correspondence to explain what they need from you. So again, that goes back to making sure that your address is correct and updated. So don't call before 10 weeks have passed, again, from the notice date. If you haven't heard from the IRS, you can absolutely call them. If you call them before that 10 weeks, they're probably not going to have anything really to report to you. And then there's a little bit of additional information. I'm going to click this link here just to see what happened, or like what's on the IRS website. So a little bit of additional verbiage, 8 to 10 weeks. You don't need to do anything. Call the toll-free number. That's all in the notice. Frequently asked questions, a variety of reasons why a bank or a financial institution would reject a tax refund, why the review would take up to 10 weeks. The IRS, if this happens, then they'll probably go back through your records just to make sure that you're not flagged for anything else. And then, again, calling the IRS isn't going to speed up your refund. So unless you receive additional correspondence asking you to contact the IRS, they're not going to be able to really help you before that 10-week period. And in my experience, there's probably not a whole lot of help that they're going to be able to provide after the 10-week period if they haven't made that progress. So you can file a form to request a status on a refund check that's never gotten to you. We'll put links in the show notes to that. I believe that's IRS form 3911. So we'll put a link in the show notes to that form as well. So let me go back to this notice. I think we pretty much covered everything that we needed to talk about. Again, we'll put links in the show notes to some of the resources that might help you if this is your situation. And if you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, or if there's another topic that you'd like to see covered in an upcoming video, please hit me up in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.